अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामी इति नामे नमः। आचार्यपादाय निताय कृपाप्रदायिने गौरकथादामदाय नगरग्रामतारिणे नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पार्श्वदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Today we are reading from Shri Isopanishad Mantra number 5. तद एजति तन्नैजति तद्धूरे तद्वन्तिके तत् अंतर अस्य सर्वस्य तत् उसर्वस्यास्य बाह्यतः। तद एजति तन्नैजति तद्धूरे तद्वन्तिके तत् अंतर अस्य सर्वस्य तत् उसर्वस्यास्य बाह्यतः। तत् दिस सुप्रीम This Supreme Lord, Ejati walks tat he. No, not Ejati walks tat he. Dure, far away, tat he. Who also, Antike, very near, tat he. Antaha, within, Asya of this, Sarvasya of all. Tat he, who also, Sarvasya of all, Asya of this. Bahyataha, external to. Translation and purport Bahis, Divan Gesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Supreme Lord walks and does not walk. He is far away, but he is very near as well. He is within everything, and he is outside of everything. Here is a description of some of the Supreme Lord's transcendental activities executed by his inconceivable potencies. The contradictions given here prove the inconceivable potencies of the Lord. He walks and he does not walk. Ordinarily, if someone can walk, it is illogical to say he cannot walk. But if in reference to God, such a contradiction simply serves to indicate his inconceivable power. With our limited fund of knowledge, we cannot accommodate such contradictions. And therefore, we conceive of the Lord in terms of our limited powers of understanding. For example, the impersonalist philosophers of the Mayavada school accept only the Lord's impersonal activities and reject his personal feature. But the members of the Bhagavata school, adopting the perfect conception of the Lord, accept his inconceivable potencies and thus understand that he is both the personal and impersonal. The Bhagavatas know that without inconceivable potencies, there can be no meaning to the words Supreme Lord. We should not take it for granted that because we cannot see God with our eyes, the Lord has no personal existence. Sri Isopanishad refutes this argument by declaring that the Lord is far away but very near also. The abode of the Lord is beyond the material sky, and we have no means to measure even this material sky. If the material sky extends so far, then what to speak of the spiritual sky, which is altogether beyond it. That the spiritual sky is situated far, far away from the material universe is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 15 chapter 6th verse. But despite the Lord's being so far away, he can at once, within less than a second, descend before us with a speed swifter than of the mind or wind. He can also run so swiftly that no one can surpass him. This has already been described in the previous mantra. Yet when the personality of Godhead comes before us, we neglect him. Such foolish negligence is condemned by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita 9.11, where he says that the foolish deride him, considering him a mortal being. He is not a mortal being, nor does he come before us with a body produced of material nature. There are many so-called scholars who contend that the Lord descends in a body made of matter just like an ordinary living being. Not knowing his inconceivable power, such foolish men place the Lord on an equal level with ordinary men. Because he is full of inconceivable potencies, God can accept our service through any sort of medium, and he can convert his different potencies according to his own will. Non-believers argue either that the Lord cannot incarnate himself at all, or that if he does, he descends in a form of material energy These arguments are nullified if we accept the existence of the Lord's inconceivable potencies. Then we will understand that even if the Lord appears before us in the form of material energy, it is quite possible for Him to convert this energy into spiritual energy. Since the source of the energies is one and the same, the energies can be utilized according to the will of their source. For example, the Lord can appear in the form of the Archa Vigraha, a deity supposedly made of earth, stone or wood. Deity forms, although engraved from wood, stone or other matter, are not idols as the iconoclasts contain. In our present state of imperfect material existence, we cannot see the Supreme Lord due to imperfect vision. Yet those devotees who want to see Him by means of material vision are favored by the Lord, who appears in a so-called material form to accept His devotees' service. One should not think that such devotees who are in the lowest stage of devotional service are worshipping an idol. They are factually worshipping the Lord who has agreed to appear before them in an inapproachable way. Nor is the Archa form fashioned according to the whims of the worshipper. This form is eternally existence with all paraphernalia. This can be actually felt by a sincere devotee but not by an atheist. In the Bhagavad Gita 4.11, the Lord says that how he treats his devotee depends on the devotee's degree of surrender. Lord reserves the right not to reveal himself to anyone and everyone, but to show himself only to those souls who surrender unto him. Thus, for the surrendered soul he is always within reach, whereas for the unsurrendered soul he is far, far away and cannot be approached. In this connection, two words, the revealed scriptures often apply to the Lord. Saguna with qualities and Nirguna without qualities are very important. The word Saguna does not imply that when the Lord appears with perceivable qualities, he must take on a material form and be subject to the laws of material nature. For him, there is no difference between the material and spiritual energies, because he is source of all energies. As a controller of all energies, he cannot at any time be under their influence as we are. The material energy works according to his direction. Therefore, he can use that energy for his purposes without even being influenced by any of the qualities of that energy. In this sense, he is Nirguna without qualities, nor does the Lord become a formless entity at any time, for ultimately he is the eternal form. The primeval Lord, his impersonal aspect or Brahman effulgence is but the glow of his personal rays, just as the sun's rays are the glow of the sun god. When the child saint Prahlad Maharaja was in the presence of his atheist father, his father asked him, "Where is your God?" When Prahlad replied that God resides everywhere, the father angrily asked whether his God was within one of the pillars of the palace, and the child says, "Yes." At once the atheist king shattered the pillar in front of him to pieces, and the Lord instantly appeared as Nrsimha, the half-man, half-lion incarnation, and killed the atheist king. Thus the Lord is within everything and he creates everything by his different energies. Through his inconceivable powers, he can appear at any place in order to favor his sincere devotee. Lord Nrsimha appeared from within the pillar, not by the order of the atheist king but by the wish of his devotee Prahlada. An atheist cannot order the Lord to appear, but the Lord will appear anywhere and everywhere to show mercy to his devotee. The Bhagavad Gita 4.8 similarly states that the Lord appears in order to vanquish non-believers and protect believers. Of course, the Lord has sufficient energies and agents who can vanquish atheists, but it pleases him to personally favor a devotee. Therefore, he descends as an incarnation. Actually, he descends only to favor his devotees and not for any other purpose. The Brahma Samhita 5.35, it is said that Govinda, the all-primeval Lord, the primeval Lord enters everything. By his plenary portion, he enters the universe as well as all the atoms of the universe. He is outside in his Virat form and is within everything as Antaryami. As Antaryami, he witnesses everything that is going on, and he awards us the results of our actions as Karmaphala. We ourselves may forget that what we have done in previous lives, but because the Lord witnesses our actions, the results of our actions are always there, and we have to undergo the reactions nonetheless. The fact is that there is nothing but God within and without. Everything is a manifestation of his different energies, like the heat and light emanating from a fire, and in this way there is a oneness among his diverse energies. Although there is oneness, however, the Lord in his personal form still enjoys unlimitedly all the pleasures enjoyed minutely by the tiny part and parcel living entities. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashta Destarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. So the material world, there are various differences, but spiritual world there are not much differences. So material world, if you see, we have, our senses are limited. We have imperfect senses, whereas the senses of God is not like that. His senses are perfect. Our senses are imperfect. So one sense cannot do the activities of other senses, like eyes. With eyes we cannot hear, with ears we cannot see, with nose we cannot see, right? So each part of the body is designed to do particular thing. We have limited, the limited potency. It has a limitation. We can hear only to certain extents. The ears have certain limitations. The eyes have certain limitations. We cannot see very far away things. Microscopes we use to see microorganisms. We cannot see far away stars, galaxies. We cannot see far away people also. We cannot hear far away the things which are spoken far away, the things which are spoken, which are acting very far away. But right now we are utilizing technology to see things which are far away. Now right now we are using technology to speak to the people who are far away. We are using technology to speak to the people who are far away. We are using technology to see things which is far away. So right now we are using technology. Otherwise our senses are imperfect. We are using some gadgets, some electronic items, electrical items to perform our activities. Our senses are imperfect. But whereas God, just by his seeing, he can impregnate. That's the energy of God. Just by seeing he can impregnate. But we have the senses which is imperfect, which we have to eat. By just right now we are offering some bhoga to Lord. The Lord is not eating. Actual physically he is not eating, but is just by his seeing the offerings, it is eating. He is also eating just by seeing. So the senses of God is different from the senses of the conditioned living entities. God, if he sees, that itself is also eating. So that becomes a prasada. We take the remnants. If God takes everything, then we will not have anything. So God also sees it, he accepts it and he blesses it, and we take the remnants. That's a bhoga offering, prasadam offering. So only those who have faith, they can understand all these things. Otherwise, people, you are offering food to God, whether God has eaten that. Like that, the people ask. Now so people, the communist country like Russia, now you go and pray to God for a bread. Let's see whether he gives. Then people go to God and pray, oh God, please give us bread. But when they come outside of the church, they say, the communists say, did your God give you bread? They say no. Okay, you ask us. Then immediately they have already brought the truckload of bread and they are giving, take. And that way they want to become God. Actually, you see, they want to become God. They want to become the provider. Actually, who gave the ingredients? The material ingredients are given by God. Actually, the God has given the earth, water, ether, air, fire, mind, intelligence, and ego. All the material elements are given by God. We are utilizing it and preparing some wheat bread. So instead of recognizing the supremacy of the Lord, people are foolishly following the foolish leaders, the cheating leaders, the atheistic leaders. The communists are atheistic people. They don't believe in God. They are making the people also atheistic by their views, by their atheistic mentality. So God, just by seeing, he can have food. Just by seeing, he may impregnate. No, he say that he sees the material energy and it is agitated, and the living entities take birth. So the God that is also one way of impregnation. So different people impregnate. So the material energy is acting in different way. Spiritual energy is acting in a different way. So we chant some mantra. Immediately God comes and he rescues us, and he protects us. So even though God may not be physically present in front of us, but the sound vibration is protecting us. The evil forces will go away. If the holy name of Lord Vishnu is recited, immediately all the evil forces will run away. The Supreme Lord walks and does not walk, is far away, but he is very near as well. He is within everything, and it's outside of everything. So God, it is very inconceivable. God's energy is inconceivable. God's nature is inconceivable. Is a mystical. Is a Yogeshwara. It's very difficult to understand God by our limited senses, imperfect senses. We are sure to commit mistakes. We have cheating propensity. We are subject to illusion. We have imperfect senses. We have so many defects. We cannot understand the nature of God. God is not conditioned by our like us. We have conditions like birth, old age, disease, death. We suffering from threefold miseries. We have limited sense, imperfect senses. We are subject to illusion. We have cheating propensity. We are sure to commit mistakes. But God is not like that. God is beyond all kinds of imperfections. So God's senses can perform the activities of other senses. Our senses has limitations, that one sense can do only one activity. I can speak through my mouth. I cannot speak through my eyes. Maybe that is difficult. Seeing through the eyes, I cannot communicate properly. That's maybe sign language. They communicate by words, by handshake, hand movements. They communicate. That is one sign language. But sometimes we may communicate to some extent through the eyes, but we cannot communicate much through the eyes. Now I am speaking the philosophy. If I am speaking, I can hear, and people can hear that there is sound. Through the sound we can understand many things, words. But if I just I show you some photo, and you can just watch this photo, will you be able to understand? I am speaking, you are understanding. I am also able to teach. By teaching, I learn. By listening, you also learn. So we have limited senses. God is not like that. When God plays the flute, without his speaking, he could able to transform the message of Vedas into the heart of Brahma. Just by his flute. Venum kvanantam aravinda dhalaya taksham barahavatam samasitambu dasundarangam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So just by playing the flute, Lord Krishna is attracting the covered boys, covered girls, gopis, all the cows and calves. Is attracting everybody. Is communicating through the flute, the music. They all like that. God is transmitting the knowledge through the heart of Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye. So he is the first poet. Kavi means poet. So from him, all the Vedic knowledge is transmitted to Brahma. From Brahma, other living entities, the knowledge is transmitted. So he is a Adi Kavi. So Lord Krishna is transmitting the knowledge through his flute. There is Shloki Bhagavatam also, 4 shlokas Bhagavatam. So the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 6th Ashtakam, only 8 verses is communicates so vast knowledge. Nadanam Najanam Nasundari. The whole world is running behind Artha, money and fulfillment of desire, Artha Kama. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Nadanam, I don't want any money. Najanam, I don't want any followers. Nasundarim, I don't want any beautiful girls. Mama Janmani, Gopi Bharta Padakamalyo, Das Dasana Das. He want to become servant of the gopis. So he is not a brahmachari, he is not a sannyasi, not a anaprastha, he is a servant of servant. He is telling like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, God is so, so merciful, so magnanimous, so much detached. He has all the six opulences in complete. Aishwarya, Samagrasa, Virasa, Shriya. All the opulences are incomplete in God. So, which means he is renounced. So here you see, the Lord is there, is a master of the universe, but he is sitting within our temple, and waiting for us to offer him food. Now God is mercifully manifest in the deity form, waiting to accept our offerings, our fruits, flowers. He is also requesting us to offer only fruits, flowers, vegetables. He accepts only our love and devotion is what he is expecting from us. So he actually, Ratha Yatra time, Lord is sitting in the chariot, we are all pulling in the chariot. So the devotees carry him here and there. So even the devotees carry in the heart. Devotees, the preachers, they preach the message of God everywhere. They carry the Lord in the heart. The book Bhagavatam, person Bhagavatam, the person Bhagavatam, they carry the Lord in the heart and they travel here and there and preach. So in that way, Lord also is sitting in one place and is performing his activities. In that way, you can say he is not walking, and it is also that he may be far away, but still is very near to us also. Just like we have Mathura, Vrindavan, Dwaraka, Jagannath Puri, all very, very far away, but still if you remember him, is also very near to us. So that this remembering the Lord is present there. The name and the name of the Lord and the Lord, there is no difference. Is a Kalikala Krishna Nama Rupa Avatar. Ali Yuga Lord Krishna is present in the holy name. You chant the holy name of God, God is present there. When God is present there, Maya cannot stand. Krishna Buliya Jiva Bhoga Vancha Kare, Maya Tare Japati Dere. If you forget Krishna, Maya captures us. If you remember Krishna, Maya will go away. So when Krishna is there, Maya cannot stand. When sun is there, darkness will not be there. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hoy Andakar, Jahan Krishna Tahi Maya Radhikar. When Krishna is present, Maya cannot stand. When sun is present, Maya cannot stand. When Krishna is there, Maya cannot stand. When Maya is there, Krishna will not come. So God is present in every form, like you see the aquatics, the birds, the insects, the animals, the human beings, the aboriginal, tribal, the criminal, even the criminal, rogue, debauchee, thief, gambling, everywhere God actually presents in everywhere. Dharma, adharma, everything is part of this world. From God everything is coming, but he is independent of the 3 modes of material nature. Actually God is beyond the 3 modes of material nature. Because of 3 modes of material nature, there is a dharma, adharma. In Sattva-guna there is a dharma, complete dharma. In Rajaguna there is dharma, adharma, mixer. In Tamoguna there is complete adharma. Sattva-guna completely they are religious people. And Rajaguna there is people are mixed. Rajaguna and Tamoguna is there. And in Tamoguna completely religious people. They are addicted to all kinds of intoxication, illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, all kinds of irreligious things they are addicted to. So in that way, God is actually in charge of 3 modes of material nature, but still is not bound by the modes of material nature. So God created this modes of material nature. God is taking care of this world through his agents, that is Brahma, Shiva. So he himself is Lord Vishnu. Sattva-guna is Lord Vishnu, Raja-guna is Lord Brahma, Tamo-guna is Lord Shiva. So the creation, maintenance, destruction is always happening. So God, whether God is the creator of this material world, but he is not part of this material world. He is not subject to the rules and regulations of this material world. Even though he may be staying within this world, but he is not bound by the laws of the material nature. He is not part of these three modes of material nature. Just like in a country, there is a consulate general, or what you say, offices which provide us visa, no? Embassy. Just like there is a Germany embassy or American embassy is there. They are not bound by the laws of the land. American embassy will act according to the laws of America. They will provide visa to Indian residents. But they will act according to the laws of the American government. They are not bound by the laws of Indian government. But they may be staying in India. Similarly, God may be staying in material world. Even though material world, spiritual both belongs to God. But material world is like prison house. Even though God is present in the material world, still he is not bound by the laws of the material nature. He is not part of the material world. He is not bound by the laws of. He is not bound by the three modes of material nature. He is beyond these three modes of material nature. We are bound by the three modes of material nature. So God is present in dog eaters, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane, Gavihastini, Suni Cheva, Sopakecha, Panditaha, Samadarshinaha. So God is present in a dog eater, elephant, Brahmana, everywhere. God is present in a dog also, dog eater also, hog also, hog eater also, mosquito, snake. God is present in everywhere, but he is not there. He is also, he simultaneously is oneness and difference. God is present in all the Atmas as Paramatma, but he is also is everything, but outside of everything. It's really very difficult to understand God actually. Even though in the body of we all bite, the mosquito is biting us, we kill the mosquito, but actually we are not killing the soul. We are not killing the soul. We are killing the body of the soul. And like that, the criminal is there. The soul is there. That is impure soul. That is evil spirit. Sometimes God punishes the evil spirits, evil souls, demons like Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha. He kills Ravana, Kumbhakarna. He kills their demonic mentality, but he does not kill their physical body. Means in the past he was killing the physical body. By killing Lord, when Lord Vishnu kills, they become liberated from the sinful reactions, sinful birth. Birth in the demonic family is sinful birth. Sinful birth, they create a lot of disturbances. People who take birth in sinful families, they create a lot of disturbances. So Lord purifies the whole world through his presence, through his instructions, through his Leela pastimes. So in that way, God is, he may be present in the material world, but he is not part of this material world. He is beyond this material world. This material world is Durga, Lord Shiva's abode, imprisonment. God is not is not inmate, prison inmate. We may be prison inmate, but God is not prison inmate. We suffer the threefold miseries, but God does not suffer the threefold miseries. God will relieve us from the threefold miseries. God can liberate us from the threefold miseries. Lord Krishna can liberate us from the clutches of Maya. He can give us liberation from the birth and death. He may. So the whole world, there are different categories of people. Some accept the personal feature of the Lord. Some do not accept the personal feature of the Lord. Some are Mayavadis, some are impersonalists, some are atheists, some who does not believe in God. So God exists in every one of them. God exists in atheists also. God exists in believers of God. God exists in Christians, Muslims, non-Vedic followers, Mlecha, Yavana, Chandala, Kirata, Hunandra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Abira, Shumba, Yavana, Kashadaya. Like that, all kinds of degraded people also, God exists in them also. But he is simultaneously existing there as well as is not existing there. He is existing there as a Paramatma to guide him, to is punishing there. The sinful living entities is punishing there. Is Guru who is punishing there, like Saturn. For pious souls is like Jupiter, Brahaspati. So is guiding in the both way. For pious soul is a Brahaspati. For impious soul is Saturn. So in that way is Guru. Is present there. Everywhere is present. For the sinful people, low grade people is Saturn, Lord Shiva. He is a Guru. Lord Shiva also is a Akila Charachara Guru. He is a Guru for all the movable, immovable living entities, Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva is actually on the Brahma Jyoti platform. So people worship Lord Shiva. They declare themselves as one with God, something like that. It's an impersonal philosophy. Om Kara, they chant Om Pranava Mantra. They chant the sound. That is also, but it's an impersonal sound. Om, like that. So the impersonalists do not accept the personal form. They say God does not have form. One can imagine any form. In the beginning, one has to imagine some form. Later on, there is no need to worship a form. There is a 5 modes of worship. They worship sun god. They worship Durga. They worship Vinayaka. They worship Lord Vishnu. Panchopasana. Vishnu worship, Durga worship, Vinayaka worship, sun worship. Like that, some worship is there. So God is both personal and impersonal. God may be for the atheistic people, for the sinful people is impersonal. For those who accept a teacher is a Guru, is personally is present, and those even more elevated people are those who worship God as a Bhagavan. And the Bhagavatas also accept his inconceivable potencies. Without inconceivable potency, there is nothing, no meaning to the words Supreme Lord. We should not take it for granted that because we cannot see God before our eyes, there is therefore no personal existence of the Lord. We should not take it for granted that because we cannot see God before our eyes, there is therefore no personal existence of the Lord. Some people say God does not exist because there are so many people suffering through the miseries. Prison people in the prison house, they may say there is no government, but actually the government is one which put them in the prison house. Some people, rebellious people, are put into prison house. So they have to give up the rebellious attitude. Then they will be liberated from the. One has to follow the law of the land. One has to abide by the laws of the government. If he is not following the laws of the government, then he will suffer. So God is present wherever there is dharma. God is also present wherever there is adharma, but is not present there also. Like adharma means irreligion. Irreligion means death, disease, old age. These are all irreligious things. These are all material world. But spiritual world, there is no birth. Even in heavenly planets, there is no death. There is no old age. There is no disease. Even heavenly planets. Pious souls, they live in heavenly planets. Mixed pious and impious, they live in earthly planet. Completely impious souls live in lower planets. So adharma is impious. But in Kali Yuga, adharma is predominant, dharma is lacking. That the spiritual sky is situated far away from the material world is further confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. But in spite of the Lord's being so far away, He can at once, within less than a second, descend before us with a speed more powerful than the mind or the air. The spiritual sky is very much far away. So the material sky itself seems to be like unlimited. The space, ether, the space seems to be unlimited. The space is impersonal, but the planets which float in the space, there is a predominant. What is that? Localized. The space may be unlimited, but there is a planet that is localized, and then there is a predominating deity of that planet. That is a sun god or moon god or earth planet. So different planet, different predominant deities there. This entire space is unlimited. Space is there. Billions of said around 4 billion miles is a space. The universe which we are staying is considered to be 4 billion miles. So God is beyond this material sky, material space. Material space is itself is so vast, some kind of 4 billion miles, 4 billion miles, 400 crore miles. Can imagine how much far away. 1 crore, 1 kilometer, 100 kilometers, 1000 kilometers, 1 million kilometers, 1 crore kilometers, 1 billion kilometers, 4 billion kilometers. You can imagine how much far away. We are very tiny, small. Our height is just 6 feet. But the distance, material sky distance is 400 crore miles or kilometers. So topmost Brahma Loka to Patala Loka, if you see the dimension, it's 400 billion miles or kilometers. So material sky itself is so vast, so like unlimited. Beyond this material sky, it's a Paravyoma, spiritual sky. Even though God is situated somewhere very far away, He can hear what we whisper. If you are not just murmuring something or whispering something, God can hear that also. He is present everywhere through His impersonalist presence. Personally also is present in His abode. Impersonally also is present through His sound, through rays, light, heat. Sun is present in one place, but sun is spreading its heat, light through different direction, through all the 8 directions. A king may be present somewhere. A president of a country or prime minister of a country may be present in the Delhi office, but Delhi office he may be present, but his influence is spread all over India. Is the law which he passes is applicable all over India. The resolution which he passes, the schemes which he brings is applicable all over India, is followed all over India. So there's like that sun may be present somewhere, but his influence is everywhere. His light, heat is spread everywhere. So God may be very far away, but He is very near, and He can come at once. He liberated Gajendra. He helped Prahalada. He helped Ajamila. So in that way, He is always near to us. He may be very far away, but He is very near to us also. He can come within less than a second before us with a speed more powerful than wind or air. God is very powerful than the mind, even intelligence, even ego, soul, super soul is very subtle. The more subtle an object, more powerful it is. So it is not possible to surpass God. So when we were actually, God is present before us, but we neglect Him. So namam dushkrituno muda prapadyanti naradama. So fools, they cannot understand. The sinful people cannot understand God. Foolish people cannot understand God. So we neglect Him. This negligence on the part of the foolish people is condemned by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord says that the foolish deride Him, taking Him to be one of the mortal beings. But He is not a mortal being, nor does He come before us with a body produced of material nature. There are many so-called scholars who say that when the Lord descends, He does so in the body of matter, just like an ordinary living being. Such foolish men place the Lord on a level equal to that of the ordinary man, not knowing His inconceivable power. So people, less intelligent people cannot understand God. They deride Him. Actually, they abuse God, or they criticize God. People consider Lord Krishna as some kind of womanizer. He was stealing the clothes of other women. He was dancing with the married women. Others He was dancing with wives of others. He was stealing the copies of unmarried girls. He was immoral. He was a cheater. He was stealer. He was a thief. People abuse in many ways. So people cannot understand Him. He is very pure. He is purifying the whole universe. Is Om apavitro pavitro va sarva avastagato piva ismaret pundarikaksham sa bahya abhyantara stuhi. He is pure. He is purifying the whole world. Just like sun planet. It purifies the stool, urine, saliva, all kinds of impurities are purified by the sun, the fire. So God is like that. He purifies the whole universe. How can you say God is impure? God is immoral. Like the water is there. Water purifies us. We take bath because of the pure water. So water is purifying. So like that, many people are. God is purifying the whole universe. Jagannatha, Patita Pavani, deliverer of the fallen souls. So only foolish people, they consider God as immoral. He's a womanizer. He's a running behind women of other wives. Others' wife is is stealing the clothes of other gopi girls. Like that, so many things. He was lusty, something like that. They always criticize Lord Krishna. Is a one, just like he was cunning, he was cheating, like that, so many things. God is not like any other mortal being. He may come as one of the mortal being. He may have the body like any of us, but his body is not like us. He may appear like us, but he is not like. Actually, we appear like him. Actually, God is his body is totally spiritual, not material. Material bodies may consist of earth, water, ether, air, fire, mind, intelligence, ego. But spiritual body is completely spiritual. There is no veins. We have veins in the body, but spiritual body there is no veins. So God is inconceivable. It cannot understand God through the imperfect senses. our no, imperfections. We have so many imperfections. We are subject to illusion. So we cannot understand God because we right now we are conditioned in the material body. We cannot understand the spiritual things. Only by purification you can understand God. Purification of heart. So people, the non-believers do not accept the form of God. They try to destroy the temples of God. They abuse the deity worship. They consider deity worship as some kind of kafir. They say kafirs, something like that. They say Satan, kafir, something like that. They say this is this is deity worship is. They don't recognize it. They don't appreciate it. But God is a creator of everything. He can appear anywhere and everywhere. Since God is the proprietor of the whole universe, He is the master of the universe, the friend of the living entities, He is the enjoyer of all the austerity, charity, sacrifice. So every sacrifice He is the enjoyer. Even the so-called non-Vedic followers, Christians, Muslims, they also do sacrifice. They also do austerity. They also give charity. That is enjoyed by Lord Vishnu. Goat sacrifice or animal sacrifice. That is actually. That is also one of the sacrifice, but that is tamasic sacrifice. Tamasika sacrifice. God enjoys all the austerity, charity, sacrifice. He is a master of the universe. He can accept our service in any way. If we offer some fruits, flowers, He accepts. We may offer the fruits and flowers to some photo image of the Lord, but He accepts it. We can offer the same to some devotee and deities, Vigraha. He will accept it. Like Mangalagiri, Narsimha Temple, Panakala Narsimha Temple, Panaka is being offered, the deity is accepting, but there is nowhere, we cannot understand where it is going. For God, there is no difference between material and spiritual. However, material energy is inferior and spiritual energy is superior. He can convert even material into spiritual if He desires. Lord's abode is supreme. When He comes along with His associates, His abode. So the Lord's energy, God is having unlimited energy. It is all engaged in this service in different ways. Some are punishing, some are reformation, some are reforming the sinful souls, that is Mahamaya, and fulfilling the desires of the souls which are in Yogamaya. So God is, if we act within Yogamaya, God is helping us. If we act within Mahamaya, God is helping us. Whatever we desire, God is providing us. So God can be worshipped in any form, the deities or metal, earth, stone, wooden. One may worship God in a wooden, metal, in a wood, or one may worship God in a stone. One may worship God in a wood or stone or any other matter. In the present state of our imperfect material existence, we cannot see the Supreme Lord on account of our imperfect vision. But still, those devotees who want to see Him by means of material vision are favored by the Lord, who appears in the so-called material form to accept the devotee's service. This does not mean that such devotees who are in the lowest stage of devotional service are worshipping an idol. In fact, they are worshipping the Lord, who has agreed to appear before them in a particular way which is appreciable by them. God is very merciful. He accepts our service in any way. Wherever we are situated, we can worship God. It is not that we have to only go to temple and worship God. We can worship God in our own house, our own body also Lord Vishnu resides. We can keep our heart and mind pure. We can chant the holy name of God. We can read his stories. So he accepts, like a student may be very low grade, but teacher is very high grade. So teacher may teach a student who is low grade. So that is God. Some people they don't appreciate the worship of some people are some God is worshipped. Sometimes God likes that his devotees are also worshipped. Aradhanam Sarvesham Vishnu, worshipping Lord Vishnu is highest. Even highest than that is worshipping Lord Vishnu's devotees. Ye tamam prapadyante tam sateva bhajamyaham. So God reciprocates us as per our degree of surrender. As per one surrender, God reciprocates us. Just like somebody is very friendly, we become very friendly. Somebody is even more dependent upon us, even more we provide them facilities. If somebody is a little bit neutral, we also be neutral. As per the relationship, as per our relationship with people, we behave. He is not ready to expose to anyone, everyone. He exposes only to those who surrender to him. So the surrendered soul is always within reach. For the non-surrendered soul is far away and cannot be approached. Only by surrendering God, unconditional surrender, we can understand God. Giving up all kinds of other sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam braja aham tvam sarvapapibhyo moksheshayam machucham. If we give up all kinds of varnashrama dharma, all kinds of birth, if we just surrender to Lord Krishna, he takes care of it. He purifies us of all sinful reactions. God is not subject to the laws of material nature. God is a source of all energies. His energies are working in different ways. Some is creative energy, some is destructive energy, some energy is maintaining. He is a controller of different energies, and as such he cannot at any time be under their influence as we are. The material energy works according to his direction. Therefore he can use the material energy for his purpose. Everything is energy of God. So everything is utilized in different ways. For government also has different departments. Some are civil departments, some are criminal departments, but government is one. As per just electricity is there. Electricity we utilize it for boiling water or cooling water. Like cooling water means refrigerator, boiling water means induction stove. We use induction stove for boiling water. Similarly, we use refrigerator for cooling water. To make ice creams, ice candy, or ice cubes. If you keep water in ice cubes, if you keep water in a jar, ice cubes can be made into. If you keep the water in a jar or something like that, ice cubes can be made in refrigerator. Water can be boiled in induction stove, electric stove. So same electricity is utilized for cooling water or heating water. So energy of God is utilized in different ways. He is a source of such energies, is the controller of the different energies, as is cannot at any time be under their influence as we are. So the material energies works according to Lord Krishna's direction. Therefore, he can use the material energy for his purpose, but without ever being influenced by any of the qualities of his energies. Nor for this purpose does he ever become a formless entity at any time. Ultimately, he is a fraternal form, the primeval Lord, and the impersonal presentation, as Brahman effulgence, is the glow of personal rays. As sun rays are the glow of the sun god. So God is present everywhere. We know the story how Prahalada was severely punished by Hiranyakashipu, but God saved him always. He was given poison. He was set ablaze. He was supposed to be set ablaze. He was thrown away from mountain. He was given poison to drink. He was asked to be stamped by elephant. No, he was sent snakes. He was want to be stamped by elephant, crushed by elephant, and he was given destructive spells were cast against him. So in that way, so in spite of so many things, God always saved him. He may not be physically present for Hiranyakashipu, but Prahalada can see him everywhere. Every second he can see, everywhere he can see. But Hiranyakashipu is not able to see because Hiranyakashipu was very egoistic. Prahalada was very loving. So immediately the atheistic king realized, okay, some power is protecting him. Actually, then immediately he wanted to see God. So he asked, "Where is your God? I want to see him. Whether he is there if he is there in this pillar, I will realize that he is there." Okay, then he will break the pillar, and the Lord will appear there. So it was a benediction which are given to Hiranyakashipu Lord Brahma by Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma gave benediction as per the desire of Hiranyakshu to not to be killed by human being or animal or demigod, or in the day or night, in between the house, inside the house or outside the house, in the day or night. He got so many benedictions, but Lord fulfilled all the promises. He was not killed on neither day or night. He was killed on the evening. He was neither killed in the house or outside the house. He was killed exactly in between the house. He was not killed in down or up. He was killed on the lap of Lord Narasimhadev. He was not killed by any weapon. He was killed by nails. He was not killed by human being. He was killed by a half man, half lion. So Lord is everywhere. He can appear in any form. He may appear as fish, tortoise, horse, or he may appear as lion, half man, half lion. He may appear as any form, because everything is created by him. He can appear in any form. Even he appeared as a Mohini Murti. So it was the desire of Prahalada, in order to fulfill the desire of Prahalada that God exists everywhere. In order to prove the statements of Prahalada, Lord appeared to the atheistic king, not at the command of Hiranyakashipu. It is not that at the challenge of Hiranyakashipu, Lord appeared. Actually, it was in order to prove the statements of his devotee, he appeared. So sometimes Name Bhakti Pranashati, my devotees are never vanquished. Kaunteya Pratijanihi Name Bhakti Pranashati. Arjuna declared that my devotees are never perished. Sometimes God may break his promises, but he does not break the promises of his devotees. He fulfills the promises of devotees. Just like if you see in the war, Mahabharata war, what happened?